wish me luck. Trying to get the cake. I'm in and out of state. At least you can wish me luck. Many niggas say it's hard to tell a stay. When I'm flipping, I'm straight. At least you can wish me luck. I don't go hand to hand. It go gram after gram. You holler at me, man. At least you can wish me luck. Too many niggas fake. It's hard to tell a snake. When I'm flipping, I'm straight. At least you can wish me luck.
The D's ain't that good, these niggas is ready. They tell them what's going on, that's how they know what's happening. I'm riding with the top down, trunk full of Yola. Ghetto farmers.
Wish me luck. Trying to get the cake. I'm in and out of state. At least you can wish me luck. Too many niggas fake. It's hard to tell a snake. When I'm flipping, I'm straight. At least you can wish me luck. I don't go hand to hand. It go gram after gram. You holler at me, man. At least you can wish me luck. Too many niggas fake. It's hard to tell a snake. When I'm flipping, I'm straight. At least you can wish me luck.
The D's ain't that good, these niggas is ready. They tell them what's going on, that's how they know what's happening. I'm riding with the top down, trunk full of Yola. Ghetto farmers.
Hello. Excuse me for a little tardiness. You know, it takes time for perfection. But anyway, welcome to Uncomfortable In-House Conversations with HB. I missed y'all. How y'all been doing out there? Today is going to be one of those things. A lot of times with the platform that I have, with my other platform I do with my partner, my brother D. We go through videos, and then we have the kind of style where we let people come in and say their perspective or give their take, and then we have back and forth dialogue. I'm gonna try that a little bit tonight. For the most part, on the normal, I usually don't get into, especially with the uncomfortable in-house conversation, because it's very near and dear to me. So I try to talk about things that's real, that has a lot of integrity, that's just things of that nature. So it took me for a minute, like most of that I try to do. Us men, before we react to certain things that we hear through blogs or through news or anything, I try to sit back and just watch and see how things play out, for the most part, because everybody is so reactionary to different things, right? I have two videos, right? But one of them is we all should know about the whole Reesa Teresa thing. I really sat down, just in my idle time, went through most of her videos and TikTok or whatever. And I must say, like, for the most part, at first I was just like, think chick just doing this for, like, nobody can't be crazy. But it is what it is. I see she was on today's show. In the morning time. So it's showing that she does have some credibility. So I have my own personal take on this. Ladies, this and another video that I have show a little later. I would like anybody who just have their thoughts on dialogues from this. I'm going to play from, I guess, a little bit of the snippets of this morning, and I'm going to just give some context, and hopefully you guys chime in and we kind of go from there. Without further ado, we're going to see how she went on live with Good Morning America.
Behind a wildly popular TikTok series is speaking out in an ABC News exclusive interview. Teresa Johnson's story of falling in love, marrying, and then divorcing a man she says turned out to be a pathological liar has over 400 million views. Robin Roberts has more on that story. And a note, we are not naming the man involved. We're using the nickname she gives him in the videos, Legion.
With just one question, she had the internet hooked.
Who did I marry?
In her 50-part TikTok series, Teresa Johnson, now widely known on social media as Reesa Teresa, details her whirlwind pandemic romance that she says was filled with love, heartbreak, and alleged deception.
I'm going to tell the story of how I met, dated, married, and divorced a real pathological liar.
The viral saga has garnered more than 400 million views and counting.
Were you nervous at all about sharing?
Yes, I was nervous, but ultimately I decided if you're going to tell this story, tell the whole story. I also really, truly believe the story will help somebody. It costs you nothing to verify, but it very well may cost you everything to not verify.
The narrative spread out over an 8-hour-long TikTok playlist.
Part one, how'd y'all meet?
So we actually met on Facebook dating.
And we also matched on Hinge. I did not realize that he was on both under two different names.
There are a lot of things in this story that were red flags. This was probably one of them, but we thought it was hilarious that we matched on two different sites. This was a guy who I really, after having multiple conversations with, felt like, wow, where have you been?
Within 2 weeks,
Whoa. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna break it down in different parts and sections. Where do I start? So she's absolutely correct. Sometimes it will cost you nothing to verify. Just seeing and going through the situations and not adhering. When I first started, and I'm listening and I'm sitting here and I'm like, I try to go into each situation, that I listen to or things that happen to very subjectively and not always try not to judge, because we as human beings, we kind of always start to judge, especially if it's a situation that we know preferably we wouldn't be in that situation or we couldn't put ourselves into that. So with that being said, I'll start off saying, again, she said it, the first red flag. The fact that he had multiple different accounts, different names, or that was a red flag. Also, too, I want to make a side note because it was something that was said. I think that also garnered my attention. So it was a thing with Charlemagne, the guy. He made a comment about her, saying, a lot of big women or big back women, they just, do whatever. And at the end of the day, truth of the matter is, people need to understand it was a joke. It was a joke. And I think a lot of times we get very sensitive on different things and different subjects, because the truth of the matter is she's a nice, beautiful young lady. She picks herself up. We all look in times when we home. Look a mess. You could have just saw me just a minute ago. Yeah. So at the end of the day, things like that, it happens. And I just think that her herself, you do have to look inward, but for me, I think it's bigger than that, because I really do believe that it's a culture thing when it comes to you ladies, and I'm gonna, get into that in a minute. I'm gonna go to the next clip first.
she says the couple decided to quarantine together in her Atlanta home.
It was more of a very temporary, he's coming to stay for the lockdown. The lockdown just never ended.
Teresa says Legion told her he had substantial savings from his time playing arena football and quickly took over paying her household bills.
Part of the reason that you stayed, was there anything to do with the fact that he said he had money, or you thought that he had money?
I definitely was not with him for the money, but I will admit that there came a point he was paying all the bills and he was being, as he called, a provider. And I had never in my life experienced that before. I really felt like, oh, thank you, Jesus. Like I can just exhale. Yes, that felt good.
Teresa also says he made promises to buy her things, including a luxury car, a house, and a trip to London.
What were you thinking when he was making all of these these promises and when they weren't happening.
We're touring houses. I physically saw him put an offer in on a house. It is unfathomable to see someone put an offer in and they have no money. So my mind was kind of saying, okay, something isn't right, but you know what you saw. The trip to London, he never actually booked it. Anyone that knows me will tell you that she's wanted to go to London since she was a little kid.
Oh.
So that was difficult because you're playing with me.
In the series, Teresa explains why she continuously chose to overlook what she calls the United Nations of red flags.
There's something that you said I really want to get it here. A quote here. Number one, I don't want to be alone. Number two,
I didn't want to look stupid by having the relationship end so quickly for everyone to be like, we told you something was up. And number three, I was ready to get married.
I felt like time was running out. I ignored things because I really wanted it to be my turn.
You get pregnant and unfortunately you lose the baby.
That is where I say the relationship should have ended. Instead, the miscarriage almost pushed me to hold on to him even more.
Teresa claims after they got married, she started uncovering an elaborate web of lies.
I got married January 5th. By January 31st, I knew I was in trouble.
The question isn't what all did he lie about. The question definitely became, okay, what is actually true? What can you prove? Every I love you was a lie. Every I got you was a lie. That does something to you mentally.
What was the most painful part?
The part that still makes me, that I struggle with is.
Okay. All right, here we go. So I'm gonna say this. For me, that was a little hard to watch. It was hard to watch because, so again, me going through the progressions of me watching this, right? I get it, and I'm gonna give her grace because she said, I didn't go into the situation think or wanting him to take care of me. Or expecting for him to take care of me. But once I saw and got a taste of that and saw what that looked like, of course, she said she wanted to. So my thing is, ladies, me seeing, again in my older age now, a lot of times you make it easy for these men to prey on you. You make it easy for these men to prey on you because you word vomit everything that you want to him, right? I say it all the time. It's like a test. It's like a open book test. You're giving him all the answers to you. You're telling him, hey, I want this, I want that, I want that. I'm going to do this. I want this from a man. I want this from a man. And when you have the right person who has this type of mindset, and all he does is to want to come in and take advantage of you, it's easy. It's easy. It's not that hard. It's not that hard because for the simple fact, when it comes down to it, you told him, even the fact that you wanted to go to London, you told him that. So guess what he did? He upped the ante. And in turn turned around and he made it look or appeared to like, hey, this is where we're going, baby. Like he came in like a knight in shiny armor. And I think the problem that we live in today is this is how a lot of women get tricked. A lot of women get tricked, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Again, this goes back to me holding you accountable because I can't talk about him. We already know he's effed up, he messed up. That's what it is. Yeah, Erica, you're absolutely right, sis. She was dating his representative. But again, the whole cognitive of that though that I look at was he basically, through him paying the bills, it made it so easy for her to look the other way. It made it very easy for her to look the other way. And not just her, because the thing is, I give a young lady credit. She's able to put her story out and tell her story. But it's a lot of women that got like that. It's a lot of women that have gotten took advantage of. It's a lot of women that have done things, and also due to their own greed, their own selfishness, into thinking, and like she said, I believe that this is my time. So through whatever it is, or whatever I have to do to get to from point A to point F, I'm gonna do it. You know, and I think even to a point, it started being a little more crazier through, the more that she explained. But I'm gonna stop there. I'm gonna go ahead. Is that X did a video as well stating he did the same time. Exactly. But I tell people all the time. A broke clock is right twice out of the day, baby. That was old player line my uncle told me. You know what I'm saying? A broke clock is right twice out of 24 hours. It's right. Check it. You understand what I'm saying? So, a lot of times if you don't have the good intentions of in which the things that you want, and you just ignore, you have to be able to not only tell your story, but you got to be accountable for it too. But I'm gonna go to the next clip.
You pretended to be your own executive assistant when I was texting you to say I'm in pre-op. So there was never an executive assistant. You were never in a meeting. You just simply did not take me to the hospital when I lost our child.
Teresa says she discovered he had a criminal record, documents revealing Legion pled guilty to charges of impersonating a police officer in 2017 and even had an open warrant for violating probation. After just 6 months of marriage, Teresa and Legion divorced.
It was as if a year worth of weight came off of me. I broke down, and I wailed.
I heard you say that you're not who you were before all this happened. Do you miss her?
I do. She got excited. I don't really get excited anymore. I am terrified to get excited because I went through a whole year and some change of getting excited only for it to be stripped away. I do still believe in love. I do still believe in marriage. I do still want that. Being single is not always a great thing, but being married to the wrong person is a completely different type of hell.
Why do you think your story has resonated with so many people?
I do think being accountable, people appreciate that. I have nothing wrong with asking for grace if I'm going to be honest and say, this is where I messed up. I know I messed up. I'm gonna be honest, I really had to kind of repent. Like, I had to really ask God to forgive me because I believe that God did everything to stop me. And my hard-headed self was still like, that's not a red flag. That's more pink. That was more pink,
Teresa says even though recording the series was cathartic, therapy has been key.
It is still very much a journey of healing, self-reflection, and simply loving myself way more than to put myself through that or anything even like that ever again. Ever.
Robin Roberts, thank you. And we reached out to Legion on several occasions. He declined to respond, but he took to social media and refuted the claims by Teresa, including denying that he had financial woes and saying the relationship ended because Teresa allegedly had an affair. He maintains that her story is only being posted now because he's...
Nigga. Hey, she called a man Legion. Well, that's gangster right there. I mean, just for all you Bible thumpers, you know what that is when they use the word legion. You know, that there was back when in the Bible when Jesus, came upon a possessed man and asked him, the possessed man asked him, Son of God, have you come here to, to get rid of us? And he asked them, who are they? And they said they called their name was Legion. That mean of many. So basically, homegirl said he had a lot. Um, just psychopathic, just narcissistic, just a whole lot of things in him that just put him in a position where him to even do that. Um, that right there, that's crazy. That's gangster. One thing that I would the kindred spirit that I have that I appreciate that this young lady has um through her humbleness, and she's saying about telling her story is to being accountable, which the one before that, that's what I was hollering. That's my thing about um, the times that we live in. A lot of people, men and women, like to get into these situations because I'm use the quote, the saying, you want what you want, and you just attempt to ignore everything that's right in your face. And sometimes it ain't even God, because God got all these other things going on, like this right here, boo. This is your test. This is your test. And I just feel that at the end of the day, I do appreciate her her very seriousness, her very just her humility within the situation and owning her ish. That takes a lot. That takes a lot in order for you to be dealing with things in that nature. It takes a lot to tell just the things that you just overlooked because you wanted to get to something that you want, that you thought you deserve, um, and you want it so bad that once you got it, it didn't taste the same. Um, that's that there is that's the things. Um, and from my perspective, that's how I feel about it. It's almost like, and again, ah, it's me. I believe in God. I believe in the Bible, but it's one of those things that why Eve got tricked. Got tricked off the basis of when it came down to it. Hey, why you can't eat off this tree? What you mean? Why I can't eat off this tree? Because my husband, man, said I can't eat. Well, who told him he can't eat off the God? Well, why? Well, why does God don't want you to eat off trees? This tree, he said you can eat off all these others. Why is that? Well, I don't know. I never thought about it like that. Well, you don't think that maybe if you would have ate off the tree, you might he don't want you to be like him? Then you ain't got to do what he say. You ain't got to walk around like you walk around. You ain't got to be doing the everyday same thing over and over again. Huh? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Why don't you try it? I mean, but it's on you. I don't know. That's the thing about the devil. Um, he doesn't make you do anything. Doesn't make you do anything. What he does is put things before you where your heart's desires, and it's up to you to partake in it. And in that situation, he saw this vulnerable woman who saw something in her grasp, because this how it normally happens when you see something in your grasp that at one point you didn't think that you would be able to get, and then you find this thing that it's right there in your grasp, and it's real, and all you got to do is just reach out and just grab it, or just, do some things that, maybe it might be unflatteringly, but if that's what I'm going to do, I'm going to do it. She said some things, at a certain point, she didn't want to, she thought she was in it too long. And she decided that her being in it and dealing with all of that from her perspective was, I didn't want to look crazy. I didn't want them to tell me I told you so. But it really didn't matter. Because this is the things, ladies, that you got to understand. Anything that you're doing, and if you're doing it for applause, it's not real. It's not real. Men, the same thing. If you're doing things for people for applause, or if you're doing things for people to be able to give you credit or accolades for what you think you deserve, you don't need it. And it's not real. It's not going to taste the same. That's why it looks and feels different when whenever you achieve something and you literally have done the work. You literally have done the work and made the sacrifices and done things that, other people just couldn't. That's why it's way more fulfilling when you actually get it, because you can look back and the pride and the sacrifice and the things. I saw a post today and it said and I felt that when it said, you're not a hustler until you lose everything. You lose everything, and one of the persons that you trusted stabbed you in the back and walked away from you when you was on the decline. You had absolutely nothing, and then you turn around and you get it right back. It's nothing more fulfilling than that. You know what I mean? That's when you know. That's when you know you're a boss. You know what I'm saying? That's when you can say, I'm an alpha. Because it's all good when you're up on the top, when everybody loving you and telling you how great you is. What happens when they ain't feeling you? Or you're not doing what they say, or they want, or what they feel that you should? I just think a lot of women, whether you want to acknowledge or believe it or not, my thing for in this situation is she stayed in way more than she needed to, not only because she felt that she deserved to get married, but she also stayed because he was paying all the bills at the time. So it's one of these things that I'm going to say two things. Besides paying the bills, he was laying that pipe. Because if, we didn't get too much into it, but if people get, that don't listen to everything, things start changing when after, she had the baby and whatever, and they moved in and they wasn't having sex that much. It started looking different when you ain't getting that sase. Yeah, that's my word. That good sase. You want to get that good sase. It looked different now. And then when he started losing his job, he couldn't pay the bills. Now it's a problem, but it's been a problem. It's just that you was benefiting from the problem. That is the issue, my thing with a lot of women that sit and say, oh my God, he's this, he's that. Baby, he was this, he was that when y'all got together. It was just at the time, it wasn't high on your priority list because it looked like you was getting what you wanted. I tell women all the time, it ain't that the fact that men are selfish. It's just that we look at things from a very rational and realized situation. First red flag came in. I saw you had two. I ain't even gonna argue with you. I've been like, no, babe, I ain't even feeling this because it don't have to even make sense. The fact that it don't make sense, I ain't even gonna go back and forth with you. The fact that you were pregnant. And again, that was your saving grace. Well, maybe God gave you an alley-oop. And, just I know for a fact, to the women, the mothers, that who has had to have a stillborn baby to go ahead and push out, that there's psychologically, it's unnerving. Just mentally, and to find out that this man, being a Legion, played one of his personalities to put on the phone and play off like, hey, he busy, he ain't gonna be, blah, blah, blah. And you found out and you still stayed. And again, and I'm just gonna answer some of the things too that, and this is for people who actually saw the video. At one point, this is why I appreciate her is owning her thing, because at a certain point she did sit back and say, you know what, guess what? I'm not going to do this, because the first time they went to go get the house, I'm talking about the man had proposed to, he had everything, and they find out that it was somebody else was getting the house, and she realized that he lied about it. But let me tell you how not stupid she was. The next time that situation came up again, and he was like, "No, we got to get a house. I want a house." She said, point blank, I told him straight up, "Listen, you want a house? Then you do the work. I ain't doing this with you this time," because she already knew. But the crazy is that it's to a point that you know a person is lying, but you still gonna be like, you know what, bumping, I'm just there. That's what happens when you let people play in your face. You know what I mean? That's exactly what happened when you allow people to come play in your face like that. Go ahead and go to the next video and continue on.
Literally just found out that my husband is having an affair with another man. Shit up. Like, I'm honestly thinking, you know how like you feel things internally, like you feel things in your heart. And I do believe that women have intuition. I feel like women know. When we know, whether it's a man or a woman. To me, cheating is cheating. But I literally just found out that my husband is having an affair with another man. We're in the military, and he's been having this affair for a while. There were signs. There were definitely signs. First of all, he told me, when I told him to cut this particular friend off, he told me, "You and the kids can go. This friend is not going any fucking where." Whenever we would have arguments, he will combat, right? Because these arguments are about this guy. And I sat and I asked my husband, I said, "You don't find it strange that our marriage has been going fine, but now we're arguing and considering divorce based on this relationship that you have with this man?" So about 2 weeks ago, my husband comes to me. We've been doing great. He says, "Hey, honey, you want to take a drive?" Now, the drive is about 2 hours away. I'm thinking that he's asking me to take this drive because he done, had this family day prepared. Come to find out, he didn't tell me initially, but later on in the evening, he tells me that this guy friend that he has needs us to drive 2 hours away to go and pick him up because this guy has had a surgery. Once I find out that it's the same guy that's been causing issues in our marriage, I'm like, hell no, I'm not helping you. It causes a huge argument where he calls me out of my name, gets disrespectful, and tells me that I don't understand what this man is going through. And so I told him, does he not have anyone else that can help him?
Yeah, that's enough. So first and foremost, when she said, she doesn't get caught up, loves love, or whatever she first said. No, it's a difference. There's that, and it's cheating 2.0. That's a cheating 2.0. It's cheating 2.0 because, ladies, let me explain something to you. Again, this comes from a man's point of view, and I'm a man. I love women. To the bottom of my heart, I love women. I love ladies. You can try to matriculate or go into why a man is seeing another woman, or what is she doing different, or what is she not doing, or what are you not doing, what do you have, what does she have over you, and all of those things, all those funky things. But absolutely, undisputably, there's nothing you can do to compete with another man. You can't. That's a lose-lose situation. It's a lose-lose situation because men are simple. And when I say men are simple, men are literally to the peak of us being simple, meaning, and think about it. I use this analogy all the time. Say you have a man, husband, a guy that you just seeing, y'all have sex, right? I don't care what kind of position y'all have sex in. There's always that one position that he gonna finish off in. So if y'all hunching and y'all going through all these other positions, and he comes with you turned over, face down, ass up, and he's beating it. You already know when it's about to wind down, boom, that's that finished position. He's finna come hard. Boom, it's done, right? Every man has that. Whether it's back, front, you ride, and whatever. It's the same, literally, how we get when we want to come. You understand what I'm saying? Every now and then, different, we might nut somewhere. But every time, if we pretty much with our partner, that's the way we gonna want to come. You understand what I'm saying? That's it. Don't change that up. You can't compete that with another man because you don't have what another man has. You just don't. And the fact that I don't know. It's weird to me, ladies, that again, you overlook that. Or even you ever look like that's okay. Again, I don't have anything against the alphabet community, don't whatsoever. But my thing is, again, a lot of what I will say, if we're being totally honest and transparent, a lot of men need to be honest about their sexual preferences, likes and dislikes, because it's not fair. It's not fair overall to the person. It's not fair to the family. It's not fair to the community. We started this, in our community, which they were starting saying about the down low brother, and the men participating in these kind of things. And then one of the things like, well, a lot of men, they're scared because they're being called names. Listen, live your truth. You are who you are. If that's what you like, that's what you like. If that's who you want, if that's your thing, that's your thing. But don't sit and act like, I didn't want to be like that. I tried and, it didn't work. No, bro. If you still in between and you fighting, work that out before you get into or start dealing with somebody. But also too, ladies, holding you accountable. It goes back to what I'm saying about y'all overlook a lot of things because at the end of the day, you wanting what you want. I mean, the fact that, again, to me, I'm going to call this like a new world. This new world thing, to me, is weird. The fact that she's saying she's arguing with her spouse about a dude that's like if me being married and I'm arguing with my wife about a side chick saying that I'm trying to be there for her. She gonna be like, nigga, you crazy? But this here literally is insane that you're doing this for another man and y'all having this conversation. It's just some things that you just stop. You have to stop. And you got to go into the closet or in the corner. You got to talk to yourself and like, what am I doing? Let me continue. Let me find out what else was going on before they got to that height. One second, I'm trying to get the next video to come on.
He tells me no, he only has me. He needs me, and you don't understand him like I do. What? So fast forward, I started feeling guilty because I'm thinking, okay, if the friend had surgery, needs some help, okay, let's go ahead and make the drive. He tells me, nope, it's too late. I already worked it out for him. You already worked it out for him, mind you. This the same dude who couldn't work out how to get our car to go get an oil change. That's down the street. But you orchestrated how your friend can get back home in his car from 2 hours away. Okay. So a couple of days ago, we were doing good. Argument's over. We're doing good. He tells me, hey, honey, I need the keys. I'm like, okay, cool. He gone for a couple hours. I call him, where you at? He tells me that he just went grocery shopping for this guy He goes grocery shopping for this man, spends his own money to go grocery shopping for this man, and now he goes over to this man's homes to cook a meal for him. And I'm like, that sounds a little intimate to me. What happened to takeout? What happened to Instacart? I just can't imagine my husband walking up and down the aisle for anyone, man or woman, picking up ingredients to make a meal. What? No. So now it's time for my husband to move duty stations. And he goes over to this guy's house, and they want to basically together figure out where he's going and where my husband's going so they could try to go together. At the end of the day, the military makes the decision based on, the needs of where he has to go, but they're trying to do what they can to make sure they choose the same places so hopefully they can end up in the same place. Right? Now, I thought that those were decisions that we make as a family. Hey, honey, where do you want to go? What are you thinking? But instead, you're making those decisions with this man, right? Okay. So a whole bunch of stuff happened. Police had to be called. They say, okay, we're going to give you a 24-hour cooling off period. He wants to take the car. I tell him no, because I know if he take the car, he going to go over to that dude house and lay up, right? So he gone, he comes back. The guy calls him on the phone, check on him, see if he's okay. Now we have to go see the chaplain. So we go see the chaplain, cool. It comes out because the chaplain asked him, ship is sinking. It's a lot going on here, and it seems to be behind this guy. So are you willing to cut this guy off to save your marriage, to save your family unit? My husband hesitates. And he says, well, in order for me to cut him off, I have to return his car first. You got the nigga car? How you get the nigga car? So apparently, during the 24-hour cool-off period, he didn't want to go to the barracks.
Whoa. Yeah. I'm just saying. So first of all, let's unpack this. Sweetheart, the fact that you said, okay, we got through all that and we were okay. We start becoming okay. Sheila, say it one time for the folks in the back. So listen, again, the fact that you said we were okay. We're at a point of we being okay. How the fuck you okay, man? I'm sorry. Where and why? How did you ever feel you were okay that you had to argue with this man about a car? That's your car. The fact that this man to try to make decisions to be with his man. How did you? Yeah, the Titanic is already sinking. What you talking about is you want to pull him back up for more. The Titanic is sinking and it's gone. I'm listen. And again, bless your heart. Bless your heart. You beautiful, positive woman. It's one thing universal. Side note I'm gonna say for my people. I love my people because I'm gonna say some shit. Listen, when it comes down to a universal, rich, poor, middle class, listen, if it's some shit going on, she said, nigga. not with the GGER, but the GGA. Like, nigga, is you for real? Like, seriously? Like, explain to me how. Listen, I'm still not gonna say she deserves that. I'm just gonna say it goes to a point at this point. Yeah, it is self-inflicted, but I'm trying to understand how is it that you were just okay? Like, you went to the chaplain, and then the fact that he's gonna tell you, like, no, you don't understand. Like, you don't understand him like I do. Man, if you ain't slapped the shit. I'm sorry. I'm working on my cuss word. You ain't, man, listen. If you ain't go back to the 70s and get that pimp slap, that Black Panther slap and hit that's crazy. That is what. Listen, the chaplain, what the chaplain was supposed to do, the chaplain would have just said, once he's dead, I have to pray for him or something, because that right there, yeah, that didn't look right at all. You cannot pray that away. I you know what? I'm gonna hold my thoughts to the end. Go ahead to the next clip.
He said, I'm gonna go to a hotel. Instead of him going to the hotel, he first went over to go over there with the guy. Right? Never told me. I didn't even know he had the guy's car. My husband will tell me things like, you no longer please me. Kevin makes me happy. And I'm sorry I just said the name, but I don't care. Kevin makes me happy. He tells me things like, you've done nothing for me. Kevin does everything for me. Mind you, when I met this dude, he was not even a citizen of the U.S. I taught him how to drive. I helped him get his social. I helped him get his green card. I helped him get his citizenship. We went together to San Diego for him to enlist. I drove him back and forth. I mean, we've been through a lot. And he literally looked me in my face and said, you do nothing for me. Kevin does everything for me. So on top of that, Kevin has been telling him to leave me. He's been telling him, leave her. You don't have to deal with stuff like this, or whatever the case may be. There are also intimate things that happen that also make me really feel this way. Specifically, a time when he came home from being with Kevin, seeing him. And I'm saying being with him because, we don't know what you was doing over there. So Kevin also, when I left for a little bit because we were having some issues. And this is when him and Kevin's bond grew a lot stronger, right? And so he needed a car. Now, normally I tell him, go to CarMax, go to, a reputable car salesman. Don't go to the mom and pops because sometimes they can fuck you out of your money. But Kevin convinced my husband to buy this car that is a lemon and does not work. This was like a little over a year ago at this point. The car still don't work. Now,
woo! Him and Kevin fucked you out your soul, baby. Hey, D, what's up, baby? Listen, we're going to get on them niggas tomorrow, dog. We got to get on these niggas tomorrow. This here is some full fuckery, some foolishness. You know what I'm saying? I got you. Hey, you triggered, dog? Dang. Did you have to say all that? Nikki, what's up, baby girl? Okay, yeah, y'all see. Yeah, it's past the red flag. Nigga, the flag is flagging. All the way foolishness. Listen, I don't know what, you already knew what team Kevin played for, man. You knew what team Kevin played for. Listen, Kevin, he told you straight up that you don't do it for me. What? There it is. There it is. Just drop it on the floor. There it is. What else do you want? He's not your husband. That's Kevin, man. Dog, listen. This is a new world here, bro. This is a new world, but I'm leading up to say some things. I'm leading up to say some things for these women. Polly. No, ain't no Polly. Kevin said, leave her. You don't need to deal with that. He said, you don't need to deal with that foolishness right then and there. You don't need that. Jeez Louise. I'm gonna say one thing too. I'm gonna give you ladies some credit. Boy, y'all don't have no shame in y'all game telling y'all whole business out here. Good Lord. And listen, I ain't judging. I'm just saying this right here, nigga, This right here. Ooh, yeah. We gonna go ahead and get it. That right there, man. Like, look at my camera. Look, my light done fell off from that. That was a lot. That was, look, I can't make this up. I couldn't even do it justice to explain. So I wanted to come on because this is a caveat for me, man, for these. And ladies, I'm going to start dropping jewels, and I need y'all to pay attention because y'all keep talking about y'all getting these situations and this, and the man ain't doing this. But just, I'm going over. Go ahead. Go ahead, Q. Kick the next one.
I told my husband, I said, well, why would you buy the car if it doesn't work? Because he called me about a week or so after he bought it and said that he had got the car and it don't work. What should he do? I said, you should take it back. What do you mean? I said, there are laws around people selling you lemons. Take it back and get your money back. He had spent all of his money, about $5,000 that he had, to get this car based on the word of this man, Kevin. And I said, take it back. He said, well, Kevin said that he's a mechanic and Kevin said that he could fix it. The car still has not been fixed. But he invested money in going to all of these places to get parts to fix this car that still has not been fixed. Kevin will give him rides to the airport, right? For some reason, he don't like to drive, my husband. So he just recently took a trip and he told me, I told him, I said, take the car. You ain't going to be going too long. Just take the car. I don't want to leave you without a car with the kids. You know, I don't want to keep you stranded like that just in case you need anything. I said, you're only going to be gone for a couple of days. Just go, you know? He wakes up the day of and says, honey, are you sure you want me to take the car? I said, yeah, take it. He didn't take it. He had Kevin come pick him up. Mind you, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning that this man came and picked my husband up. His flight was like at, I think 9 or something like that. Right? He comes and picks my husband up. They go to the airport. Now, when he comes back and when Kevin becomes an argument again, he tells me, you tried to sabotage my trip and Kevin came through for me. Kevin had to come and pick me up and take me to the airport. He's always there for me in ways that you are not there for me. So when we spoke to the chaplain told me, ask your husband, in what ways is Kevin making him happy? In what ways, you know, can you be a better wife? In what ways what is he doing for him that you're not doing for him so that I myself can make some changes to make my marriage work? Now, how crazy does that sound? To have to ask my husband what another man is doing for him that I'm not. I'm out. Baby, give me the divorce papers. I'm out. He told me I want to live in peace with Kevin. You want to live in peace with Kevin? And some people are saying that's normal friend stuff. It's not normal. When you're willing to divorce your wife and children to make sure that you don't have to cut off this one particular person, whether it's a man or a female. I ain't got to see no more. Sign me up, I'm out. My husband tells me this is the military way. I don't understand the way of the Navy. The Navy man comes first.
There it is. There it is. Listen. Listen, Vicky. Oh man, listen. So again, my brother, you know, my boy, one of my best friends, Dietrich, y'all see him. Listen, I know this man for 18 years since high school, right? There is no way, and he on live right now. I can't say, listen, I need you to come get me. I'm going through some things. He gonna be like, one thing for certain, two things for sure. I know he for a fact be like, look, bro, we can talk on the phone, but I ain't finna go do none of that. I got my wife, I got my kids, you know, I got my baby. Like, this is what's going on. We can do something else, but we ain't doing none of that. You understand what I'm saying? We ain't doing none of that. Hey, I don't even think I can get this Negro to be like, hey, come get me at the airport. He'll be like, dog, I seen your money. Listen. Hey, that's about as gangster as it's gonna get. And the same here for me. You know my other boy, Bert. Listen, same difference. I ain't doing none of that, man. We ain't doing none of that. Ma'am, it took you to do all that to talk about get a divorce? It took you all of that to go get a divorce. The papers, she should have already had the papers. She was supposed to listen. The Navy way? I don't even want to be thinking about that, man, because I knew some people that's in the Navy. I know some good people that's in the Navy, good men. Come on, man. They don't get no. Come on. We ain't finna go back to that sailor thing. Come on. Come on, Popeye. We ain't doing nothing. Nigga, that ain't bros before hoes. That's a bro. That's a bromance. A real bromance. That is absolutely insane. Like, so here's my take on everything, ladies. And I did all of this to sum this up for me. What I've come to the realization of. And it's real. I've come to the realization of, and I get it, you know, when me and D do our, you know, our shows, and you know, a lot of people have comebacks and they ain't finna do this, and the man gotta do this, and da da da. Y'all women will deal with a lot. Y'all will deal with absolutely insurmountable things beyond anything that I can conceive in on a consistent basis. I've seen this. But y'all won't go 50-50. Y'all won't go 50-50, and y'all won't deal with no dude if he ain't making over a certain amount of money. You ain't take care of a man. But as long as he give you the facade or the mirage that you need and you want, all things go. And in this, what I truly see and I believe with going through all this is because you able to come on here and to act like y'all are the victims. Like you the victim. You cannot play the side of being a victim when, again, this man have shown, bitch, how you have kids from this dude? I'm sorry, D. Yeah, and at some point, and that's my point. That's my point right there, Sheila. I just need women to own their shit. Like, stop with the acting like, oh my God, I was such a good woman, and I did this, and I was being there, and I was just trying to just believe in my man. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Just like this dude, like the other dude with the other chick, he was paying the bills. He was giving you stability. So it made you have blinders. It gave you blinders to what things that you see that you overlooked. And guess what? I can accept that, but you gotta own it. Because what you can't do is come back and say, you ain't a man if you ain't doing this. You ain't a man and doing this. Obviously, a lot of y'all chicks ain't with men. A lot of y'all women are with males. And there's a difference. There's a difference between a MALE and a MAN. There's a very big difference. Just the integrities too of what we're willing to do and not do it. Because on the other side, because it happens to men too, but we call them men. What's the men we call? We call them simps. Because there are certain men who do things and they go out of their way and they do things for these women, knowing for a fact, other than what they have, they wouldn't be able to get that woman. And the caveat to them is once they are not able to provide the same things that they sold that woman on, they want her to love them now because all the stuff I did, that doesn't equate to love. That just equates of a transaction relationship. And so we don't talk about that a lot because guess what? Men don't get passes for that. Men don't get passes for that. Men, we look at it like that's your dumb ass. You knew for a fact you was out that lady league. You already knew what it took to get to her. That's why a lot of times when me and D we talk about certain situations, it wouldn't happen to us because we wouldn't even be with it. I'm gonna be honest with you. It just wouldn't happen. It happened. A girl done got the best of us in, but a lot of times, no, it wouldn't happen because that ain't even us. We ain't even with it. It's obvious that he surpassed his desires for the men. He was in the name. Oh God, Nikisha, you here you go. Here you go. Here you go. You lead to your own understanding. You romanticize it. It ain't obviously at all. Obviously, what it was is again. So if you listen carefully, she said that she got him over. So first and foremost, I don't even think it was based off love. I think already it was based off of him. She got with him. He wasn't a real citizen in the first place, right? So this the kind of again the psychological things that these women do when they say, you know what, I can't get no man from here. These kind of men, and again, I'm gonna get this kind of man, and he knows how he's gonna know how to treat me. Not understand his background. Yeah, we know he gay. Duh. Everybody, shit. Stevie Wonder could have saw he was probably gay. But again, it goes back to my saying about women wanting what they want. Until you get what you want, and it just don't taste what you thought it was gonna taste like. Period, point blank, she didn't care because she wanted what she wanted. And I just think that right there, it really is so simple for me when we talk about this. A lot of times, even we see Keitra, me and her talk a lot, and she tells me she comes up with these very elaborate, great ideas of what she think this is, like it's Scooby Doo, but it ain't. It's when I say men are simple, we simple than a motherfucker. We very simple. I just think at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, I just think if a lot of women own where they are in life, because one of the things I appreciate my friend Sharon, the other two episodes that when me and D had, she was on there, and she said she's been in different situations and she was, being in that part, the part of life that she was in then. We too old in this big age to be doing shit like that. All because you think that you deserve. First and foremost, we don't deserve nothing. Anything you get, you got to work for it. So again, going back to, if you're a spiritual person, which I am, you believe in the Bible, this is Satan world. So we walk in here and we tell ourselves, well, I just thought God, I've been asking God for it. God, no, Satan can give it to you too. And he showed you because again, y'all blabber everything that you want, and you get these men to tell. Sometimes say less. Man want to get you, he want to court you. Again, there's nothing wrong with having boundaries. But at the same time, allow him to show you and not do a lot of all this damn talking. A lot of women like men to romanticize them, right? To tell them what they want. Let him show you. Is he gonna be in the paint with you? Can he deal with your stupid ass mood swings? Can he deal with your craziness? How does he deal in conflict? How does he handle situations with his family, with his kids? Can he show you his vulnerability? Does he, when things arise, does he try to figure it out first, or do he just come to you or go to somebody? It's the small details that a lot of women miss because you already have it in your heart what you want and what you desire, and that's how you end up missing out on on the person that you need, not what you want, but the person that you need. You understand what I'm saying? I appreciate you guys sticking in and watching this for me. I didn't know where this was gonna go. This I was, just watching a few videos. It really just has me like, I don't know. I'm conflicted. Like this really is a thing. It really is a thing that I hear. I remember, growing up in our generation, we laugh and we watch Waiting to Exhale, or what was the name of the movie with with Winston, that she ended up the author, she ended up going with the guy and just making kids, come back find out he was gay. Like that was used to just be, that was taboo. This ain't taboo no more. It's not. Again, I think people need to do more researching, have a little more patience, and have more self-love for yourself, and understand that nobody should make you happy. If you got to make yourself happy first. You understand what I'm saying? You have to make yourself happy. Yes. Terry McMillan, yes. I think you have to make yourself happy first before anything. To do, and yes, verify. But you have to do these things for yourself, because it doesn't matter. The person could be perfect, but if you ain't right in here and in here, it's not even gonna matter. It's really not gonna matter, because you're never gonna be happy. Because your happiness is based off of things that you just want, not what you need. And not only that you want, it's also what you think you deserve. And nothing is pretty much deserving unless it's through hard work, But again, I appreciate you guys tuning in with me to Uncomfortable In-House Conversation with HB. Tomorrow, y'all come check us out. From our perspective, me and D, we got a good show. This time we're gonna be getting on the guys. It's gonna be a series, 3-part series. We're gonna be talking about the dudes. So hopefully you guys tune in and like that. But like any other time, thank you for tuning in, and peace.
Wish me luck. Trying to get the cake. I'm in and out of state. At least you can wish me luck. Many niggas fake. It's hard to tell a shame. When I'm flipping, I'm straight. At least you can wish me luck. I don't go hand to hand. It go round off the ground. You holler at me, man. At least you can wish me luck. Too many niggas fake. It's hard to tell a snake. When I'm flipping, I'm straight. At least you can wish me luck.
The D's ain't that good, these niggas is threatening. They tell them what's going on, that's how they know what's happening. I'm riding with the top down, trunk